So we still play Fortnite. We do. But I do. So I generally get this question somewhat often. Hey, why aren't you playing this game anymore? And so it could be EFT, it could be Fortnite, it could be used to be CS:GO. Hey, why don't you focus on Smite or whatever the case is? And so for a long time, I focused on one game, and I had it looked like I had a pretty bright future in that directory. I really enjoyed that game, and I was very passionate about it, and I was aligned. I aligned myself pretty well in that directory, and that game unfortunately was canceled, and as a result, my channel really took a dive afterwards. And then after that, I focused on Fortnite for a while, and it was a great opportunity, and Epic Games was great to me. But I also saw that, over time, I didn't necessarily see the growth opportunities there, and it started to wear on me that I was doing the same thing every single day. And then, when we started doing EFT, I really like that game. I really do like the concept of EFT. I love the realism, etc. But it was the grind and just knowing how and how repetitive these things can become. And so I think what I decided was that we're still going to play those games whenever an opportunity presents itself. However, really, I think it boils down to the fact that I realized that every time that I just focused on one game, the audience in the channel on the large part was there more for that game than they were for our chat or our community or the broadcaster. And so anytime I would focus on one game and then go do something else, even if it was just for a day, essentially we would get our asses kicked, right? Our numbers would be really down and chat would be really slow, etc. And so I understand that being a variety streamer on Twitch is probably one of the hardest things to do on Twitch. But I do think that it's the best way, or maybe not the best way. It's definitely not the best way to grow your channel, but it's the most consistent way to grow your channel. Based on what your objectives are. And so for me, even going back to when I was streaming Paragon, my focus was always the community. I was the only streamer that was doing viewer games and sub games. I always had people with me. I was, always trying to include people in the experience. And so for me, it was never really about one game, although I did enjoy that game quite a bit. It was always about the types of people we had in the channel. Right? The type, like-minded individuals. And that doesn't mean that we all agree on everything, because we don't. But it's more of a kind of a mature kick to it, just generally nice individuals, etc. And so I think that the bottom line is that when you diversify, then essentially what ends up happening is people don't come to your channel because of the game you're playing. They come to the channel because they love interacting with the people in chat. They love interacting with the broadcaster, and they like to see different things on a consistent basis. That doesn't mean change every day, but that means that a nice laid out plan, consistency. And so that's really what I'm focusing on I was saying this yesterday, a lot of people talk about community, and it's kind of BS, right? They don't really do anything to build a community. They just talk about these things. And so, I'm basically just following a consistent path to what I've really been doing since day one, regardless of what I was playing. And so, so the answer is we're still going to do PvP stuff. We'll still do EFT. We'll still do Fortnite. We'll still do some CSGO. We'll still hopefully get a chance to do some Artifact. But that's not the focus of the channel. I think that one way or another, we're gonna figure out how this thing works. But for me, the reason why you won't see me on one directory all the time or 95% of the time is because it's really not about the game anymore. It's about The content that I put out, it's about the types of people that we have in chat, and the general environment provided in the channel. This is basically supposed to be a place where, you can get along with folks, you can meet people, you can have friends, and the proof is in the pudding. If you jump in Discord, you can see there's, pretty much nightly there's a group of folks playing something, whether it's Destiny 2, whether it's EFT, whether it's Fallout 76, whatever the thing is, if it's Artifact, if it's Dauntless, etc. There's little spots here and there. And so, I'm just trying to be consistent with what it is that we're trying to build. But that's kind of the long and the short of it. You will see me play those games. So, for example, if we finish a game, let's say we do a single player game and we finish on a Wednesday, then Thursday and Friday we'll sprinkle in some PvP. So maybe we do EFT back to back, or maybe we do EFT Thursday and Fortnite Friday. And so it's really just more about trying to have fun. It's really more about just trying to have some fun with PvP, but that's just not the focus of the channel anymore. And I understand, like, for some people, if they came when I was doing Fortnite, or I was doing EFT, or if I was doing Paragon, or whatever it was, and now they're like, well, he's not playing this game anymore, I don't want to hang out here. I understand that, and that's exactly why I have taken this shift, because on Twitch, luckily, there's something for everybody. And so if you're only interested in one game, then I'm not the broadcaster for you, because essentially every game dies. And so when that game dies, you won't have a community that you're a part of, because everyone's just going to go like this. They're going to scatter and you won't have anywhere to be. What we're doing here is we're building a place where it has legs, it has longevity, and you'll be able to move with us as we do other things. But anyway, so that's kind of the long and the short of it. So either way, I appreciate you stopping by. Hopefully you decide to hang out with us in the future. If not, I completely understand. We'll be here though Monday through Friday. We usually start between 8:30 a.m. Eastern and 9 a.m. Eastern, and usually go to about 3:30. But anyway, yeah, that's the dealio.